Son, where'd you find this?
Don't be offended by the truth. They be offended because you called out the truth. Simple as that. They don't want to hear any other narrative that makes them look bad.
One thing I can't stand at this big grown age is somebody who acts like cause and effect does not exist. Like, yes, your actions caused this outcome. Yes, what you did lit the match. Like, why are you surprised and playing victim?
Guys, Chico. They never lie.
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late, they cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll.
What up? 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 Peace and blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. Happy Monday. I hope all is well with the people. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. I hope your Monday started off the way that you wanted it to. Shout out to my poets, writers, my content creators, all of you. Much love. Good to be here. You see the title. We got to talk about it. I got Sydney in the building. Do me a solid, like, share, repost, let the people know that we are on. To everybody who has been supporting and showing love over the last couple of weeks, I want to say thank you for tuning in with us. Let me bring her up. I got a clip I want to play for y'all. We're gonna have a nice little convo. Sid, what up? What up? What up? What up? What up?
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm seeing the weather starting to slowly shift. I believe the time has gone back.
Yep. We jumped back Sunday.
Okay. I noticed. I don't pay attention to the notifications. I noticed that it's still light out. So I'm like, all right. Yeah, it's about that time. So
Yeah.
maybe the weather is about to. It's not about to be too cold too much longer. So everything good. How was your weekend?
It was good. I spent my weekend working on my environmental poetry manuscript, and then I finished up the edits for my political manuscript. So I'm making progress with those. I'm basically done with the one that's with the publishers right now. So I theoretically shouldn't have much to do with it, except for like write some of the little extras, like dedication page and whatever. And yeah, I was mostly, I basically was inside all weekend just at my computer. And yeah, I have a new shirt. I'm very excited. It's the San Francisco, it was an anniversary shirt for the San Francisco earthquake in 1906. So I was very excited to find it. I'm probably the only person in history that's excited to find earthquakes on shirts.
Probably. I don't know. It's a small world. There's a lot of people with different hobbies out here and interests. So there might be one or two lingering around somewhere. This is what I want to do. I'm gonna bring this up on a big screen. I'm not sure if you know who Bhad Bhabie is. She's the Catch Me Outside girl. She hit 18, jumped on OnlyFans, made a ridiculous amount of money in her career, if you want to call it a career. Ended up having a kid with someone. Then she ends up getting cancer. Been fighting that for some time, and now we are here. So let me bring this up on the big screen. I'm gonna let him cook, and we'll go from there.
Cancer BBLs before GTA 6. I thought the zombie BBLs was where we're going to stop it at. So social media is reacting after Bhad Bhabie shows off her new body. And you have some saying they happy for her, that her body, her choice, while others are saying that why would you do that with the diagnosis that you have? Also, that on her phone screen, the time exactly says 3:04, and they clowning her. She comes out and says that just because she has cancer, does that mean she can't feel pretty? No, you should 100% feel pretty, no matter what you have. But getting a BBL while you're trying to fight off cancer is very stupid. Like, I'm sorry, y'all just don't like to say it because we live in a time where we can't just say the truth. Is very, very dumb. They're claiming there's also surgery on the top too. So the doctor that did this needs to be put in jail. But regardless of the fact, it's her body, her choice. If she want to do that to her body, it is what it is. She deal with the repercussions. The only issue I see is that people put things out on the internet for an opinion, they get mad when they don't get the opinion that they were looking for. Regardless, what do you guys think about it? We got...
And there you have it. I mean, I know how you feel about the whole BBL thing. Well, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Let me just get that on the record. Based off of the clip and what you heard, what's your initial reaction?
Well, I understand that desire to feel beautiful, especially when you're going through a health condition that can affect the way that you look. If she's getting chemotherapy, there's a chance that she could get, she could lose her hair if she needed. I looked into it, and I don't know if this is confirmed or not, because the other website I found said that she refused to disclose it, but it looks like that she has blood cancer, and which is basically like leukemia. And you can lose your hair from the treatments for leukemia. So I have nothing against somebody wanting to like embrace their body and do things for themselves that make themselves feel better, get a new haircut or do your nails or whatever. But to me, it's the health aspect, because injecting things like that into your body when your body is already vulnerable is not a very good decision, especially when it's something like blood cancer, where it's going to potentially be, or where it's going to be present throughout your body. It affects your healing. It affects your the functioning of your organs. You really don't want to be adding a lot of stuff into your body that can complicate the process. And it has been connected to cancer already. Butt implants have, in a study done in 2019, have been linked to anaplastic large cell lymphoma, which affects your lymph nodes. So we already have examples of these procedures being linked to certain. Oh, it is a blood cancer. Okay. It's called ALCL for short. It is a type of blood cancer. So there's a possibility, this is just my speculation, but there's a possibility that the procedures that she's gotten in the past could have even contributed to her cancer. But she also has a family history of cancer. Her mother had it as well. So you can't say for sure. Some people are just unlucky. But the fact that it's already linked to cancer and now you have cancer and then you're going to get these injections, I think is foolish. And also, you're going to have to do take certain medications and do other things to maintain the butt implants and whatever. And it's just a lot. Like, I wouldn't do it.
I have a problem with people being in denial about their insecurities. Like, you present yourself to be such a confident man or woman, but you utilize things that's pretty much alters your body when you initially would present to the world that you're just super comfortable being the way that you are, but you're really not. We have this thing where we have to change who we are in order to continue to maintain a certain level of celebrity or importance in the eyes of our viewers, because this is where our seniority comes from. This is where our defining moments come from. This is where our purpose comes from. If the people don't see you as somebody special, then you ain't nobody special. Even for the whole OF thing, she had issues that needed to be addressed. Dr. Phil couldn't help her out. Her parents couldn't help her out. And she made a string of decisions afterwards that just seemed to be reckless to me. Honestly, it was stupid. It was absolutely stupid. It makes absolutely no sense to make matters worse when you're trying to save your life. How does it, unless you're saying to me you don't have faith in that you're going to survive what you're going through, and so you're going to go out on your own terms and this is how I want to do it, I can understand that. But at the extent of accelerating the issue, not the brightest move. I think there's a lot of undertones here too that's being missed. I think that's one of the biggest conversations that people are having. Is like, let her do what she wants. I mean, she's the one that's fighting this, so go ahead. But then other people are like, well, fight it, survive it, and if you still want to go through with it, go ahead. But why would you put yourself in a deeper risk by cutting into your body. Like, yeah, I don't know.
I was looking into it, and which site is this? The Conversation. It's academic, journalistic. This was written by a professor of aesthetic plastic surgery. Pardon me, I'm out of breath. My groceries just got here right when I started. One of the risks with Brazilian butt lifts is blood clots, as well as a risk of infection, both of which are very dangerous if you already have something wrong with your blood. Because with leukemia, if that's the one that she has, it causes you to have a weakened immune response. Your body does not respond to infections in the way that it should. And so if she has this condition and then things go wrong with that procedure, it could kill her. It could cause issues like an infection running out of control, her getting sepsis, which is when you basically have the infection in your blood, or blood clots, which can lead to organ failure. It also has the potential to cause tissue death, which can in itself lead to risk of infection. And if there's tissue death, there's the possibility you could need to undergo surgery to remove that damaged dead tissue, which again is another complication you don't want to have when you're already dealing with cancer. Anybody with cancer who has seen somebody experiencing cancer would know just how exhausted having cancer makes you, because it's affecting how your body is able to function, and particularly with your blood, which is responsible for the exchange of oxygen, nutrients, and all other processes in your body. To add additional burdens to that is quite dangerous, in my opinion. I don't know what level she's at. If anyone, for those of you that don't know, like there's different stages of cancer. There's stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Stage 1 is where it's limited to a small area. Stage 2, I believe it's in a small area, but it's started to spread. I think stage 3 is once it's moved to a new location. And then stage 4 is when it's in multiple locations throughout the body. I don't exactly know how that would work with blood cancer, if it's considered stage 4, like if it has to like move to other organs and stuff like that. But if she was in the later stages, that would be incredibly dangerous for her to do. Not saying that it like stage 1 or 2 is any better, but just that additional risk to your body. And I was also, this is on the Nashville Liposuction website, important considerations for patients with autoimmune disorders, which the leukemia can affect your immune response. This can increase your susceptibility to inflammation, inadequate wound healing, and you need to take measures to monitor your immune response, and potentially use more specialized care to mitigate potential risks. So even if nothing goes wrong, she still probably has to do a lot more for herself to prevent negative outcomes of this particular procedure. And I'm guessing, hoping that she went to a reputable place for these procedures, because I mean, we've all heard the horror stories of people getting botched procedures and going to shady doctors. I literally just watched a video over the weekend about women who have been permanently damaged by getting their nails done. One woman went to a salon, and because the place didn't disinfect the tools, she ended up getting a severe infection in her finger as a result of her manicure, and they had to amputate her finger. And that's just with getting your nails done. So imagine inserting a needle with God knows what chemical into the largest muscle in the body while you also have cancer. So I just hope that she did her research and is on top of her care, because it's not safe, in my opinion. It's not a good idea. And then also, kind of to touch on what you said, people mistake body positivity for insecurity, like you said. There's a difference between loving yourself for who you are and loving yourself after you've altered who you are. And it's like there's nothing wrong with that, because there are many reasons why somebody might need a procedure to improve their self-image. Maybe they have like a malformation, or they have something that seriously impacts their life, how they function. But stuff like this that kind of are more attached to the sexualization of the body, I think are secretly more damaging to our psyche than we believe they are. Like it seems like empowerment, but I think underneath it does degrade how you feel about yourself, because you're training your mind to believe that you have to have these procedures to make yourself feel good about yourself.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. And now, if I was like one of her family members, I'd really be on her about this, because it's like, what are you really doing here? Are you doing this for the public? Are you doing this because of the just negative environment that you've put yourself in with your child's father? All of the attention, good and bad, that you've gotten over the years for being in that spotlight, doing what you've been doing? Is it the content? Is it society that they pretty much gave you the red carpet treatment, opened the door, said, the world is yours, you made it, you're a household name? And I say that very loosely. What is it about getting these surgeries and these operations that people feel like they need to do it to feel attractive, to feel needed, to feel wanted, to feel completed? What are you running away from? What are you trying to escape or avoid? And to the point to where you already are fighting for your life, and you're really making it worse here. And yes, I've done at least 3 videos on women who have died going under the knife, getting these surgeries. It was a officer, DC Young Fly's wife died getting that operation. Then there was another one, and it was a transsexual doctor who wasn't even supposed to be doing operations like that. They were performing these operations, and they were literally getting people sick and worse. And one lady died from it. So it's like, even you knowing all of these factors, y'all still are willing to risk it. It's crazy to me. you shouldn't even feel like you need to go under the knife to still feel pretty or attractive. But like, I've never had cancer before. I've had family who has had it, so I can't really speak to how somebody could walk around knowing that their body is fighting off this thing that could potentially. I don't know how that feels. I don't know how you're thinking, but I don't advise it. Work out, eat healthier, change your diet up. Once you realize most of the stuff that you eating is the cause for these diseases anyway, you're gonna want to do it. So I think there's other methods to making yourself feel better and look better without having to do this. But I'm not here to judge enough. I'm just like, nah. If I was your cousin or something like that, I wouldn't support that shit.
I don't know if it actually works this way. Obviously, I'm not a medical doctor. But I was looking up what they do for the Brazilian butt lift, and they basically like take fat from one part of your body, usually hips, lower back, thighs, abdomen, or potentially other areas, and then they purify it and inject it into your butt. It makes me wonder if you could accidentally transfer cancer to a different location. Like if it was in the fat cells and ended up being basically injected into your bottom. Obviously, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't really know these things, but it was something that came to mind where I'm like, I wonder if you could accidentally transfer the cancer to other locations without you even knowing that you did that. I've heard of stories. They're rare cases, but where people found out that they had cancer because they had a collision or they had an impact of some sort that basically like released the cancer from that location. And so they developed symptoms and were able to find out that they had this cancer. But because it's a blood cancer, I don't know if that's really like how it would work. But it is something that I was thinking about. I'm like, I hope that she wouldn't accidentally transfer the cancer into her body through into another location, just through that procedure. But I also wanted to touch on another thing that you said, the whole diet aspect. People 1,000% underestimate just how important your diet is. There are foods, obviously, just like medications, food is not going to be a magical cure. You can't binge on a certain food and magically it'll make your cancer go away. However, it does provide your body the building blocks to protect itself, to prevent illnesses, and to rebuild itself when it is going through a difficult time. There's a reason why they usually put people, if you have access to it, through dietary coaching when you're going through cancer, because there are specific ways they urge you to eat to help you with the process of recovery, because certain foods are going to help regain your strength a little bit more. They're going to be better for your body, easier for your body to process. Depending on the type of cancer you have will kind of affect the diet you need, and obviously everyone's different. But there's a lot of research showing that certain foods reduce your risk of cancer. There's certain foods that can help you recover more quickly when you're sick. And I think we definitely underestimate how important diet is in our whole medical experience. Do you want to go outside? Let's go outside.
Yeah.
Just sitting here talking to herself. So just a side note, one book I always recommend, I absolutely love it. If anyone's interested in reading it, Intuitive Eating, one of the best books I've ever read. It's not a dieting book. It's a book that talks about how to get yourself back onto normal eating if you've had disordered eating. And it talks a lot about the like scientific basis of nutrients and stuff like that outside of the influence of like commercials and the industry being like, no, you should eat these food because it makes us money. It's it's a really, really good resource if you're interested in food science and understanding how to bring yourself back to a normal baseline for eating, intuitive eating. But besides that, it's when you have cancer, you have to have a whole body approach. You have to affect your eating. You have to change how you sleep. You have to change the amount of what you do in your life. Like you can't overburden yourself with like you can't be as busy as you used to. You might have to quit your job. You might not be able to do hobbies that you used to do. And you're going to have to look at your life differently because how you live in that moment can affect your prognosis. And cancer can be a beast. Like some people get very lucky. There's some cancers that 95% of people will survive. They won't have very many problems. But there are some cancers that are very, very dangerous and have a very low survival rate, especially if you find it in the later stages. Again, I don't really know what her condition is. I don't know what stage she's at. But just from my own life, my own perspective, I do have health anxiety because my dad had a stroke when I was little and had to watch him go through that whole process. His wasn't even dietary related, but I ended up embodying a lot of those fears. And so I'm very cautious about how I behave, how I eat, how I act, what I do with myself, my brain, my body, everything, because I want to make sure that I maximize my health. And just from all the research that I see, a lot will affect your body. A lot of things that we don't really expect can influence your health, your stress levels, whether or not you're active or not. And I mean, like getting up, walking around. As I said, the types of food you eat, how much water you drink. And those minor things make a huge difference. So I can't even imagine what procedures like that will do to you, especially when there's an increased risk for infections, an increased risk for tissue necrosis, tissue death. And in normal circumstances, it can be deadly to people. Granted, not all of the time. It's not like a high percentage of cases people die. Otherwise, this probably would be banned by now. But still, it's a risk. And I think it's foolhardy to alter your appearance using something that could potentially do more damage to you than good. And ever since I was in high school, I've basically coached myself to have the mentality of embracing the imperfections, embracing the things that I don't like about myself, and seeing them as more as trophies of life that I've lived. The scars that I have, the stretch marks that I have, the like wrinkles and spots and whatever that I develop is just life. It's just things that you've experienced. It means I've been outside. I've had beautiful kids. I've been outdoorsy and have crazy stories and stuff like that. But I do my best to minimize the amount of self-hatred. It's kind of a strong word, but self-esteem issues that I have. I will change things that I do if I notice it's affecting my abilities. Like if I notice, I'm getting short of breath more often, I need to exercise more, or I am like my knee is starting to bother me, so I should probably start eating certain foods and exercising more and like doing things to improve my life. But I've pulled myself out of the mindset that I need to do things to my appearance to make myself beautiful. I've been through that before. When I was in high school, I remember it was either high school or early college. I cried because my hair wasn't like, I used to do like corkscrew curls in my hair. And I literally cried going out the door because it wasn't exactly as I wanted it to be. And I would get like angry, frustrated with the makeup because I couldn't figure out how to do it right. And it just didn't look right. And then it made me look weird and I didn't like it. And I still remember the moment I swore off all of it. I was like, you know what? This is causing me more unhappiness than it is causing me peace. And like, if you love your makeup, if you love doing your hair, more power to you. But for me, I just found it ridiculous that I was spending all this money and stress on something that was for everybody else. It wasn't for me. I hated the makeup. I hated the way it felt on my face. I hated having to wake up like an hour and a half early just to do my hair, especially because my hair is super thick. And ever since I swore off doing all those extra things, it has, I haven't noticed the difference in my lifestyle, but in my happiness, I'm nowhere near as self-conscious as I used to be. And I credit it with me embracing my normal self, how I look normally. Like, I don't wear makeup, never. I think the last time I wore makeup was for my wedding, and that was just for the pictures. But that's all to say that I think it's ridiculous when people feel the need to spend hundreds, thousands of dollars on superficial processes just to make themselves feel like they're okay to look at in public. Because I know that there's some very, very deep-seated self-esteem issues in a lot of women out there where they literally do not feel comfortable going outside unless they have a full face of makeup, or do not feel comfortable unless they have the perfect body. If you ever want to see anything like that, look at My Strange Addiction. And you have some people on there that go through some wild procedures just to make themselves feel okay. And while I embrace people doing the things that they love, I still think it's kind of a covert version of, like, in certain circumstances, almost self-harm. So yeah, there's a bunch of reasons why people would choose to do procedures like this, but I think deep down a lot of it is self-esteem.
Imagine spending a large portion of your life. I think most of us at some point have done this before. You spend a large portion of your life hanging with people that you thought were your friends, and you thought that's who you wanted to be like, or you thought that was the crowd that you wanted to be in, and things take a turn for the worse. You hit a crossroad, and at that crossroad, you're either going to fully embrace what they're doing, or you're going to answer yourself and decide that's not really where I want to be at. Being in Hollywood, being under them lights 24 hours, you got makeup artists, you got PR teams, you got friends that pretend to be your friends and family pretending to be your family. Their intentions aren't the same as you would like them to be. Can't really tell if they're nudging you in the right direction or if they're trying to push you off the cliff slowly or not. And one of those things I always considered about being in the spotlight is what my circle would look like if I got sick, or I had to make a judgment call, an unpopular choice. I got millions of people watching me, and I decided that I was going to say or do something that was not politically correct. But I know that it's right, it's the right thing to do to say it. Would they be on my side? Or would they try to make it look like I would be doing the wrong thing by speaking up, even though I have this influence, like the pressure that you got to be under. I hate that for women specifically who have to use their sexuality to make a living. Because why? Why do you not think that you're smart enough, or you don't have other hobbies or skills to get you paid just as much? But see, that's the world we live in, and you just have too many people around you that won't tell you the truth. So with her in this, I think people have been eating off of her, so they're not really too concerned. I think she has people around her that are concerned. I don't think she has enough people around her telling her the truth. But we don't really know the inside conversations. As far as I know, she could be on her deathbed. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Rob, what's going on, man?
Man, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I apologize to everybody. The longest day. I just came in.
You be on the road, bro. I get it. You stay moving. So I understand, man. You straight though?
Yeah. Now,
Glad you made it.
I'm glad. I miss you guys and the lady.
Likewise.
I like the
Um,
point.
yeah.
I'm late. Fill me in. Y'all keep going. I'll catch on.
So we basically talking about Bhad Bhabie, man. She got the whole body operation done, the BBL, and she's fighting cancer right now. And you have people who are saying live your life. I mean, you got this virus, you got this thing inside of you, and if these are your wishes, then go ahead. And then you have other people that are saying, well, why would you make it worse if you're already fighting something off that's going to be difficult to deal with, you know? And we got on the whole idea of how the world, or how the people in this world that are in certain spotlights, they will sentence you to life or death depending on your level of celebrity. And my thing was, all right, who's around you? Who's talking to you about this? Sydney has said something that I didn't bring up, but I think is good to talk about. What kind of conversations were she having with her doctors? Right? Are they? I'm sure they're telling her this stuff. They got to be. And my thing would be, are you listening to them? How serious do you take your health as far as what you put in your body? Because I don't think a lot of us really do either. And what are the voices in your head saying? Are you leaning towards the doctor saying, look, you got a long road ahead of you. I got a plan for you. And I think your mother-in-law has said this last year or sometime. She said like they have a way where they set up a routine or like a plan for you to how to approach this. Are you following that, or are you still one foot in, one foot out? You hear the doctors, but you're also looking at your Instagram and your Twitter and all of your social media, and you're still trying to appease these people in that lifestyle over there. Guess what? Your world isn't the same anymore. You're alone in this. They're not carrying this with you. You're carrying this by yourself. So some things got to change. And that's pretty much where I was leaving off at.
Sydney, go ahead.
I was going to say we should let you go since you haven't gotten to give your input yet.
Well, what kind of cancer is it? How long she had it?
I think it's blood cancer. That's the only thing I was able to find online, but it didn't say what stage it was at or when.
Is that in her DNA, or she developed it? Can you develop something like that through a BBL?
I looked into it, and her mom has had breast cancer in the past. But I also found that BBLs have been linked to a certain form of blood cancer. So I don't know what type of blood cancer she actually has, because she's been kind of mum on the details. But they did say in one article that she has blood cancer, and the BBL website said that it can cause blood cancer. So I'm like, if she's gotten it before, I wonder. It's more speculation, but I mean, it's pretty damning evidence.
Did they give her like a time frame?
See, that I don't know. I don't.
Because you got two types of people. You got the people that's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna start eating my fruits and vegetables, and I'm gonna exercise, and I'm gonna get my rest. And then you got the people that's like, man, I'm gonna die anyway, so we might as well kick it. What I hate hearing alone, especially if it caused it, the fact that she had to get a BBL and all that to appease the people, like I don't know. I'm not a fan of them, and like you said, deep with the having to please the people, all of the stuff that you got to do. Like Kanye is off topic, but I remember him saying that he got like stomach surgery or something. You know what I mean? And then I've been watching some movies lately, and I'm looking at these stars, and they got like the Joker face, and all of the injections and the lipo and the Ozempic and all of that just to stay relevant. That bothers me because people spend $1 on you and they think they could control your life, and that's not fair at all. You know what I'm saying? They should pay you for your entertainment purposes, for their entertainment purposes, but you shouldn't have to risk your life. And that's where we come with the social media and all of that. Because I remember like Boom Gang, I remember Supreme Patty, like all these guys. And shoot, you kind of want to say Jackass started it, but then you go all the way back to Jerry Springer and Maury Povich. And it's just all of this crazy stuff that you got to do to keep your fan base happy and all of this. And at the end of the day, y'all are right. People don't care nothing about you. So if she's still living for the people, that's questionable. But if she got a death sentence, I don't know. I'm wondering, would I kick it? I'll probably be the type to kick it all the way on out.
That's what I was saying earlier too. Because it's like
I looked it up, and it says that she revealed that she had cancer in November 2024 because people were criticizing her appearance, and then she said that her weight loss was due to a cancer medication, which I have to throw this in there because I saw it. Apparently, after that, she also got a nose job while she was going through cancer treatment. But then on February 28th, she said online that she received bad news from her doctor in her blood cancer diagnosis, and in the post she said God has the last say. So I'm inclined to believe that it might not be doing so great in that whole thing, but and she's had it for over a year. So she doesn't give a lot of details, specifics on her cancer, but she has had it for a while, and she did say she got bad news. So Something's happening.
So it seemed like it's more leaning towards there's a possibility that I might not be here too much longer, maybe. So I might as well live the way that I want to. To each his own, that's your prerogative, because we can't tell somebody how to finish the chapter of their own walk. This is yours and yours alone. I would be trying to extend life as much as possible, though, and injecting anything in me that's not naturally supposed to be there is not it. I wouldn't even be worried. I wouldn't even be worried about social media. I wouldn't be worried about clicks and likes and reposts and all that. You need to reevaluate your life. You need to think about your kid. Um, the image that you're leaving behind, the message that you're leaving behind, what you want to be remembered as in your house. Forget the world, but I think there's just more important things to be considered than looking pretty. You know, hell, there's kids that fight cancer all the time. They don't do all of this. This is extreme, very extreme. But I mean, I can't tell her how to feel or what to think about it, you know.
Is she? My question is she getting bread? Like I'm looking, and no disrespect to her, but I can't. I don't. I've never heard a song from her. Um, that was the Catch Me Outside girl, right?
Well,
Was that
before, but
was that
even
was
before,
that was the girl from
that's
Dr.
her.
Phil?
Yeah, that's her. But remember, she broke OnlyFans record. She was the youngest to make
Oh,
millions and millions of dollars on the shit. So
hey,
before she even had the music stuff, she was doing OnlyFans. Soon as she hit 18, bam, she was on it.
getting to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, all of that. If that's the reason from them surgeries, I feel bad for her because that's a hell of a way to go. You think that you're doing something that's going to increase your longevity and beautify, and then here you go, boom. That's kind of like, I mean, like the COVID vaccine. They showing now the research on the COVID vaccine is that a lot of people did not fare well from it, and that's scary, because like you say, you're putting these toxins in your body, and then for who? Because at the end of the day, nobody really care about all that stuff. They don't care. Like maybe for the cameras, the aesthetic, it looks all right, but at the end of the day, people don't care about you whether you got a BBL or not, and it's unfortunate that it's like something they gotta do. Like you look at the star after star, even the males. I'm starting to look the men. I'm looking at them like, wait, you got surgery too? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it to be in those groups when you get to those levels that you gotta basically kill yourself, man? You know what I mean? And I feel bad for whether she caught it for that or not, because you don't wish that on your worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't seen her in the news. I don't know. Like I'm just an old head, so I don't really know. Never looked at OnlyFans or nothing, but I guess she got a status and an image to uphold, so she gonna keep it popping to the end.
And if that's the case, that's sad. That's sad to say. I can see a lot of them doing it too. A lot of them. There's no way in the world. I think once she was on Dr. Phil, she had already had defiant issues. She was already combative and going back and forth with her mom and all that. She already had issues with that. I did a reaction. I did two separate ones. One, she said that she was touched on when she was dealing with a rapper. She was around 16 or something like that, and they inappropriately uh, touched her, or they introduced her into an environment that she wasn't prepared for. And then there was another one. Uh, she was speaking about something. I can't remember what it was, but she had a lot of issues before she even got on the big screen. The big screen amplified it. The people, the media amplified it. You got yes, girl, yes, queen. You got these women, you 30, 40 years old, advocating for her behavior when she should be getting help. You got men subscribing to her content when they should be shaming it, holding her accountable. A lot of factors, I think. This I don't even know for sure if this is genetic or not. Like with my grandparents, my mom, that stuff was hereditary. It passed from one person to the next. I don't know if that's her case or if it's just her eating bad, her in the type of environment she was in, or it's just a culmination of all of it. But beauty standards got people looking crazy and crashing out and doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing for it. We got to get back to loving ourselves ultimately. So let me ask a question. Um, would you? All right, you get the phone call. Hypothetically speaking, we're gonna use her as an example. She's not the actual person, but she's like your cousin or somebody. You get the phone call. They tell you this is their situation. What's the conversation like with them? What do you say to them? Or do you say anything at all? Now, before you answer, he or she's in the same boat. They're not just regular people. They're here. But your family, so why does it matter? But from your perspective, what does that conversation look like?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm definitely the more brutally honest type of person. I'm very supportive, but and just to clarify, this is if they were planning on getting a procedure like that, or if this just like if they had cancer.
They don't even get the procedure yet, but they've
Talking
had
about it.
they had they already had the cancer. They're already fighting the cancer. You already know all that, but they're thinking about getting the nose job and getting the all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm the brutally honest type. I would come to you with research evidence. Here's what researchers say. Here's the articles I could find. Here's things that you should consider. Granted, I recognize that I can't make the decision for them. People are going to be people, and they're going to do what they want. My husband's the perfect example of that. I can tell him all the research in the world, but if he wants to do something, he's going to do it anyways. Kate, the perfect example, he broke his leg playing in a martial arts tournament, and like you could literally hear it in the video. He was still able to, like, it wasn't a clean break, it was just like a fracture break, but like you could hear it in the video when it happened. And I told him, his mom told him, we all told him, like, it is broken. You need to go to the hospital. You need to go get it checked out. No, it's fine. I can still walk on it. He literally did not ever go in for it. But then, like, I think it was years later, He went in because he kept getting shin splints, and they were like, "Oh, did you know that you broke your leg?" And we were all like, "What did we tell you? What did we tell you?" So I would come with all the facts. I would come with everything I could possibly find on it, especially if I thought it was a bad idea. And I would really just try to appeal to the person and like connect it to the ways that it could affect them personally, the things that would matter to them the most. Like, yeah, I know you want the surgery, but it might keep you from doing this thing that you love, or it might cause these things to happen that would be unfavorable to you. So I definitely would not shy away from being as honest with them as possible. Granted, a lot of people think like I come off as, I don't know if fatalistic is the right word, but like a Debbie Downer or something. Like, why are you trying to ruin my experience? But to me, loss of health, loss of ability is my worst nightmare. And I wouldn't want to wish that on anybody. I've seen what that does when you lose your ability to walk, when you lose your ability to talk, when you lose your personality. And if I think that something somebody's choosing to do is a bad idea, driving drunk or going somewhere they shouldn't, or trying to climb down the side of a cliff for a cone, yes, that's also another real story. I I will come with the facts. So I do my best to protect the people around me, but I also recognize that words can only do so much.
Me, the type I'm probably a bad influence, but I'm gonna listen and I'm gonna see how you feeling, and then I'm gonna watch you. I'm gonna watch to see if your words match um what you're saying. And I'm the type of person, man, where it's like if you like it, I love it. Whatever floats your boat. You know what I'm saying? So once I listen and see where your head at, we're gonna see. And now that I become a solution oriented person, I'm gonna be like, okay, so what you want to do? You know what I'm saying? What I'm like you, Sid, but I'm gonna be more like, okay, I'm gonna look up ways to fight it. I'm gonna look up as many ways possible to fight it, and then I'll even call around for you. You know what I'm saying? But I usually don't ask questions when people in states like that. I usually don't, because at the end of the day, people gonna do what they want, and I don't want to be like your party pooper. So, but I will, make sure that you talking in a sensible manner to where, okay, we got this. Now, what we gonna do? What's next? How you feeling? And I'm gonna watch you over time too to make sure that your actions match your words, to make sure that you don't crash out. But if it's your last week, 2 weeks, and whatever, almost as long as you ain't hurting nobody, you ain't hurting me, you ain't hurting yourself. I mean, depending on what you thinking, then I'm gonna be with it because it's your life, your choice. To me,
Uh, I think I would want to get to the core, the root of the issue. I want to know why you feel like you need to cut yourself. Plastic surgery, all that. I want to know, where does this come from? Is this motivated because of what you've seen here? Or is it something that you already had in your heart? Or is it something that was suggested to you? I need answers. I want to know what's going on in your head. I want to understand it. There's no cameras. There's no paparazzi. We family. You can talk to me about that. This ain't gonna be on TMZ. Tell me what's going on, because I want to honor and I want to respect your wishes, but I don't want to lie to you either. But I need to know what is the cause of this so that I can prevent this in future events with someone else. Maybe there's something within this conversation that I didn't notice before that now that you're mentioning it, it'll allow me to be more empathetic and understanding to the plight. Because sometimes folks are going through things and we never really know. And this might be your way of coping through something. Who knows? But I'm definitely going to suggest against it. I'm not going to say do it, but first of all, it's your money, so you can do whatever you want with it. But I would have the type of conversation with you that by the end of it, if you really felt like these are your dying wishes, or this is something that you know that you're not coming back from, or whatever the reason is, I would want you to be responsible with these decisions. Because guess what? There's a generation of women out here getting these operations. Even after the fact, knowing that people die on the table, people are still doing it. I would say use your experience here and stand in the gap for folks that are either thinking about doing it or they've already done it and they're going through something similar. Because guess what? You have a testimony. And it just goes beyond just you. This is about beauty standards. This is about self-esteem. This is about eating healthier. This is about what it does to your psyche, going through the experience of having cancer. This is about dealing with your traumas. This is about being a real influence and a real role model, and really, really trying to drive it in people's head that some of this stuff might be a sickness. Some of this stuff you don't need. You are fine the way you are, and don't do things because of what social media is pressuring you to do. So I think that's what my conversation would be like with somebody. But teach his own. My thoughts and prayers with her. Uh Dying to be a sex symbol is crazy. You really going out like that just so that you can be remembered as nah, nah. Some stuff ain't worth it. This is definitely not worth it. Then again, I don't know what her routine is beyond this, what her life is off screen. I don't follow her. I just saw the post and say, all right, this is a good one, because people are too scared to be themselves, to dress how they want to dress, to look how they want to look. Then, so I mean, if anybody got any closing remarks before we get out of here, the floor is yours.
One thing I said it in the comments, but I also forgot to mention that tattoos also have an associated risk with blood cancer as well, among other types of cancers. And she has a lot of tattoos, so especially colored ink is associated with potential cancers. So that could also have been another risk factor, besides the other procedures that she may or may not have gotten. And then the whole conversation makes me think of a quote that James Dean was associated with. It was from I just had it. Where'd it go? It was from a 1949 movie, Knock on Any Door, with Humphrey Bogart. But the quote is, "Live fast, die young, and leave a beautiful corpse." And what you said made me think of that quote, because it seems like that's how a lot of people try to live nowadays, where they're like, I don't really care. I'm going to do whatever I want. if I die young, it doesn't even matter because there's no point in growing old. And like people have a whole bunch of reasons why they embrace the wild side. But I think some of it's cultural because we do kind of live in a society now that values younger people more than older people. And then also like the way everything is, who wants to get old? Like we're not going to have retirement. We're not going to be able to buy houses. We're not going to have health care, like all that fun stuff. So I feel like this is also a trend among young people where they just want what they want regardless of the consequences. And they would much rather acquire everything that they desire without actually caring about the potential consequences, because they can either pay their way out of the consequence or they can just deal with it, I guess, and get over it. I don't understand, at least from my perspective, the need to go through procedures for your appearance. I've always been like, even regular surgeries and stuff that are for normal things, I've always been like, no, I don't want to get surgeries. Like, I want to limit the requirements of me having invasive procedures on my body because I know all of the risks that can come with them. So it's hard for me to identify with somebody who voluntarily does stuff like this, especially when the procedures can be kind of shady. But that being said, that does not take away from the experience that she's going through right now. She's a young mother. I believe her baby was born, I think her daughter's almost a year. And I already know that is a hard life. Being a young mother to a young child is a challenge already. And to go through that while also dealing with a health event like cancer is, I can't even imagine. Like just me going through my seizure disorder and all of the stuff that it comes with. And I'm not even experiencing like the physical stuff. It's just the like repercussions of not having my license and stuff like that are like complicated. But having to go through cancer at that young of an age, especially as a celebrity, when your appearance is half of your fame, and you're required to travel all over the country, possibly to other countries, and then you have to be a singer and a dancer and all that other stuff. The pressure that she must be under must be incredible. So I hope for the best. I hope that it's not a life sentence for her, because going through cancer is something that nobody deserves. And so, yeah, I wish her the best. And I just hope that everything goes well from the BBL to the cancer. So.
First, y'all, apologize. I'm sorry for being late. It was the craziest day. I had to get into it one day. Nothing but emergency after emergency. Um, I know people who have had like breast removes and they did like surgeries for aesthetic because they wanted to look normal, and different kind of enhancements because of the damage that the cancers did to their body. And then I know people who just went and got surgeries. um I'm gonna say first, like you said, Deep, we got to get back to self-love. We got to get to understanding. We got to get to the fact that you was made the way you was made. No matter which way it go, you're beautiful. I don't like the Hollywood effect that's having on people when they get a certain status. Now all of a sudden, even little things, you got to wear Gucci, you got to wear Louis Vuitton and all this when you couldn't normally afford that stuff because that's the fastest way to go broke. Plus, I found out that those brands don't like us. Well, as far as like the surgeries and all of that, the with the surgeries, if you like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? If it's to fix some kind of damage, but if you're doing it for anything or anyone outside yourself, and it's not, you say, oh, well, I got to keep getting this money, I got to stay relevant, so I got to do this. Then that's the type of stuff that could drive you crazy. So I definitely wouldn't suggest that. Um, I would say more bone up on your talent. You know what I mean? Get your talents right, get your skills right, develop some skills and talents that could help you keep that money going versus damaging yourself. Um, but at the same time, I'm a type of person. If you like it, I love it, man. Whatever you want to do, as long as it don't bother me. So, like you said, Deep, I'm gonna go like this. Whatever you do, be responsible. Know that you're not alone, and I'm gonna pray that it works out for you. Definitely much prayers and all of that to her because, again with the cancers, that stuff. Wish we found a cure because that stuff is knocking people out of here, and it's not good.
Allegedly, we already have it. They allegedly there's a cure for at least three of them: pancreatic, lung, and can't remember the name of the other one. But of course, according to what I researched, the United States, they don't want to have anything to do with it. It's approved in China, not over here. But I digress. That's a whole different conversation. Shout outs to everybody. Go ahead. You want to say something?
I was just gonna say we should do a whole episode on cancer itself because there's a lot to it between the industry and the stuff that's available. And yeah, there's a lot to it. So we should definitely do an episode on it one day.
Absolutely.
Also,
Absolutely.
the pressure of Hollywood, because you would think like we looking at all these people and you get all this money, it appears, but you can't have a positive relationship. You can't be the same way you came in. It's just wow.
I don't think there's a single person that is the same person that they were when they got into it.
It reminds me of this comic I saw once where it shows like a conveyor belt and like a normal person, a normal woman going through. And when she comes out the other end, she has like a giant butt, a giant like boobs, and then like a nose job. And everyone that comes out after like looks like her. They all look the same, skinny waist and everything. I should see if I can find that comic.
Yeah. We're gonna spin back on both of those next week. Definitely gonna lock those in for next week. But I want to say thank you, Rob. I know you have things going on, but you still pulled up. Appreciate you, bro. Sid, appreciate you for being here. Everybody that's watching in the back, appreciate y'all for being here this evening. Love yourself. Stop going under the knife. Stop being lazy, man. Just hit the gym. Even if you don't hit the gym, make your gym your home and get it in the house. There's way to love on yourself without having to do it under the guidelines of somebody else's opinions. But we about to get up out of here, man. Do me a solid before you go, if you don't mind.
What's the goddamn button?
Y'all have a blessed week.
Have a good night, guys.
See y'all tomorrow, Lord willing.
Y'all 2, 1.